The United States has always dreamed of being the biggest influence on the world, and Russia has threatened that dream. In the United States, they teach us in school that it's a fight between freedom and tyranny, capitalism and communism, the United States or Russia. In this video, me and you will discuss why the United States government hates Russia, in the hopes that you can learn a little bit about the US's perspective on Russia. I'm Benji, and on this channel, we learn English through interesting topics. Let's get into the video. First, I want to warn you, we as Americans don't hate Russia or Russians. Maybe a couple of generations ago, that was true. However, today, we the people of the US don't really think of Russia too often, nor do we consider it a real threat to us. We're mostly just interested by Russian culture and people. Now, let's talk about why the United States government hates Russia. Number one, ideological differences, or differences in ideas, what we think the world should be like. While Russia claims to believe in the dreams that communism offers, the United States claims that it believes in the dreams that capitalism offers, which are complete lies for both countries. It's something that I always found funny, that we argue about these things and yet we don't even represent them. Of course, the United States is claiming it's a capitalist nation while at the same time controlling what people can and can't buy, who can and can't buy certain products, and they'll even set the price, which are clear signs that the United States is not a true capitalist country. Just as in Russia, where you can own property, which in true communism does not exist. So what are the ideological differences? Truly, I think there's a lot more that the United States has in common with Russia than we really think. Probably a lot more in common than there are differences. I think about Russia and the United States government like a non-practicing Orthodox Christian and a non-practicing Catholic Christian discussing why the other person is wrong in their beliefs, while it doesn't even matter because they don't practice them. So in my opinion, this reason is flawed and I don't believe it. I don't think this is a real reason. However, it did lead to a real reason for hatred, and that was the Cold War. The Cold War lasted between 1947 and 1991. It was a war for power, influence, and nuclear strength. During the Cold War, the tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union skyrocketed. The American government was spreading propaganda saying that Russia wanted to take over the whole world and make everybody communist. While in Russia, they were spreading the opposite propaganda, saying that the United States wanted to take over the world and make everyone capitalist. Yeah, the tensions were bad, but everything was relatively peaceful until the Cuban Missile Crisis, when schools had to begin teaching the kids what to do whenever their country gets nuked, which, as you can imagine, made everybody really scared. This Cuban Missile Crisis happened in 1962, when Russia made a deal with Cuba to set up some nuclear missiles in Cuba, supposedly pointed towards the United States. When the United States figured out that they had nukes pointed towards them, tensions grew as everybody got scared about the idea of a nuclear war, a war that would destroy the world. Luckily, Russia and the United States were able to come to an agreement that Russia would take their missiles out of Cuba, and in return, the United States would not invade Cuba or do anything to escalate the situation. Some other things that happened within this time period that caused tensions between the Soviet Union or Russia and the United States are Russia invading Afghanistan, Russia helping North Korea in the Korean War, and the Soviet Union shooting down Korean Airlines Flight 007, killing 269 people, including US citizens. Years later, the Soviet Union would fall apart. However, even if it's a different country, the United States still looks at it the same. And our government remembers the tremendous threat that it used to pose to us. Number 3, cybersecurity threats. To be fair, I have no proof, no real proof that would make me believe 100% that the Russians did this. However, according to the White House, the Biden-Harris administration has warned repeatedly about the potential for Russia to engage in malicious cyber activity against the United States in response to unprecedented economic sanctions that we have imposed. There is now evolving intelligence that Russia may be exploring options for potential cyber attacks. I know, that's a crazy accusation, and yet they seem to make these accusations very often. It's one stereotype that we have in the United States for Russians, is that they're all spies. They're all super smart, and they're all spies. I know, it's ridiculous. But the claims go even further. They have claimed that Russians actually changed the outcome for the elections in 2016, making Donald Trump win. Again, something that cannot be proved, but is an incredibly dangerous accusation to make. Number 4, military aggressions. In the last couple of decades, there have been various Russian attacks, invasions, or transgressions, however you want to call them, that have caused more mistrust for the Russian government. These include the Russian invasion of Georgia in 2008, when they annexed Crimea in 2014, and the escalation that we have all seen of the Ukraine-Russia war in 2022. The truth is, the United States wants to be the only country, along with Israel, that can invade any country that they want without repercussions. I'm not trying to sound like an enemy to my country. That's just the truth. And if you don't believe me, think about this. The United States has caused more innocent death than Hitler, and it still thinks of itself as a savior to the world. In the same amount of time that Russia has invaded those 3 places, the United States has invaded Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, Panama, Somalia, Haiti, and Libya, just to name a few. I'm not saying that Russia is correct for doing what it's doing. Not at all. I'm just saying that the United States is constantly doing things like it. But when Russia does it, it's a problem. Here's a quick map showing you the countries that Russia has invaded versus a map with the countries that the United States has invaded. Who's the bigger enemy to the world? Let me know in the comments. And lastly, we have to look at Russia's alliances. Show me your 3 best friends and I'll tell you who you are, is a quote that we use often in English. So who are Russia's 3 best friends? Well, China, North Korea, and Iran would probably be their best friends, which is not a great friend group to have. At least it looks bad. To make matters worse, Russia is a big part of BRICS, which is an extremely big threat to the United States and its ability to have control over the world. They have even talked about replacing the US dollar as their currency for trade, which is just crazy for the United States government. I mean, we have literally bombed countries for talking about such things. You see, Russia, the more we sanction it, the stronger they get on their own, which is a huge threat to the United States. So there you have it, a brief overview of why the United States hates Russia. It's a complex relationship rooted in ideological differences, historical events, and ongoing war. While some reasons in this video have been oversimplified, because at the end of the day, this is less of a history lesson and more comprehensible input. And if I explain complexities in English, it won't be very easy to understand for B1 and B2 learners. And of course, remember, this is just one side of the story. Surely many people will have a different perspective, and that's wonderful. There's no correct way of viewing the world. So if you have a different idea of why the United States hates Russia, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like it, like the video and subscribe to the channel for more comprehensible input. If you would like the flashcards to learn the vocabulary that you didn't understand in this video, go in the description and become a member at buymeacoffee.com/BenGeorge. It was a pleasure seeing you again, friend. Have a wonderful week. Goodbye.